finding a place. Yes, I know, he introduced himself. Say a few words. Your reading is right.
We'll start in like 1 minute.
And do we have a
Could you
road?
find out where Shamila is?
Do we have a roving one?
Yeah, let's wait.
Coming through the door to take their seats, please, so we can get started. Good afternoon. Bonjour. Assalamu alaikum. It's very nice to see everybody here today. There are many people from Pakistan, Canada, and India. Welcome. I'd like to welcome you all to the inaugural meeting and lunch of the Canada-Pakistan Chambers of Commerce. I've heard just today a lot of background about the chambers, and I very much appreciate that this organization has renewed itself, and Marine Javed will be coming up in a few minutes to give you some information about the Chambers of Commerce and give you a short briefing on how this delegation has found PDAC this year, 2012. We had a very small delegation of 3 people. Mr. Urshad Ali Kokar from Petroleum and Natural Resources and Secretary Raisani were on the mission last year. Also Minister Mengel, who couldn't make it today. So the 3 of us were here, 4 of us, myself included, were here last year. This year, I'm not sure of the numbers. It's around 18. And I have to thank the Canadian International Development Agency, and I have to thank the World Bank, who sponsored the mission, and my department, Foreign Affairs and International Trade. So this is what made it happen. It couldn't have been without those organizations and their support and their funding. I'd like to mention that in addition to our ministers that are here, Minister Mambiwala for Investment and Minister of Petroleum and Natural Resources, Dr. Asim Hussain, are here. We also have our High Commissioner, Mr. Akbar Zeb, here. But we also have, I think, representatives from every province, and I'm not sure that our Sindh representative is actually here yet, but I hope she arrives soon. But we have representatives from Balochistan. If you could stand up and this is Secretary Raisani. We have a representative from Government of AJK. That's Mr. Farouk Ahmed Awan. Could you stand up, please? Punjab, Mr. Shahid Mahmood. Could you stand up, please? Thank you. And who have I missed, Hassan? Okay. They're not here? Okay. KPK are here as well. So we have representatives. We also have Shamila Faruqi from Sindh. She's not here at the moment. I hope she arrives in a short while. I just want to give you a very short background of what's happened in the last almost 12 months. You know, a lot has happened between Pakistan and Canada. We're not on the radar screen in terms of, you know, the BRIC countries. Everybody wants Brazil, Russia, India, China. So Pakistan doesn't get recognized, but we do a lot of work. And our trade is growing. We're around the $1 billion mark, two-way trade. Our investments right now are not large, but we do have investments by small Canadian IT companies, and we have investments by Engro in Canada from Pakistan. And some of the other things that happened recently, we have started bilateral investment negotiations, and those have been going on probably about a year and a half. And we're about to have the third round in April. And we're hoping this will be the last round of negotiation, and then that will lead us towards what is commonly known as a bilateral investment treaty, what Canada calls a foreign investment protection and promotion agreement. We had last October air negotiations, and we successfully concluded in 3 days air negotiations, which I think brought our treaty from around mid-1990s or 98 to a new treaty in 2010. And this allows the air carriers to increase their flights when they have the capacity to 6 flights a week, so that PIA can fly to Canada 6 times a week, and Air Canada could, or through their partners, fly 6 times a week. And we have, joining us later, I believe, the MD of PIA. We have here right now Mr. Salim Raza Bhutto. Could you just stand up and be recognized? So PIA is here, and they supported us, represented at this meeting. We've been quite successful in introducing Canadian livestock to Pakistan over the last 3 or 4 years. The Army Remount Farm has taken what an association called CEMEX has, which is semen and embryos, and we now have a crossbreed of Canadian Pakistan cattle. They're larger, they're fitter, and they are helping Pakistan improve their herds. We have worked with RIM and BlackBerry through a number of discussions and negotiations with Pakistan, and we're concluding with that in the near future. And I can tell you that my office in Islamabad, supported by 6 locally engaged staff, one of them is here, and I'll recognize him, Hassan al-Haq. He's done a lot of work putting this mission together from the Pakistan side. And then I have 2 more staff in the Islamabad office, 2 in the Karachi office, and we also cover Afghanistan. It's actually a virtual team, so my 1 member of staff in Kabul is supported by my staff in Pakistan. Now, without any more ado, I would like to introduce Marine Javed. Marine has been extremely useful, very supportive, and has actually organized the Toronto end of this delegation. Without her, this would never have happened to the extent it has happened, and I'd like to introduce her, and I'd like her to come up and give us some information about who's here and what's been happening over the last few days. Marine.
Thank you, Robert. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Canada-Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, I would like to welcome you all to the first official event hosted by CPCOC. I would also like to welcome Minister Salim Manviwala, Minister of State and Chairman, Board of Investment, Senator Asim Hussain, Minister of Petroleum and Natural Resource, Mr. Abdul Rahman Mengal, Minister of Mining, Balochistan, and Ms. Shamila Faruqi, Advisor to the Chief Minister of Sindh, and the entire Pakistan delegation. His Excellency Akbar Zaib, Dr. Shafiq Qadri, MPP from Etobicoke North, and Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Government Services. It is my honor to host the largest mining delegation from Pakistan, representing a strong public and private sector. This is the first time in the history of Canada-Pakistan relations that such a high-powered delegation comprising of senior government officials and private sector participated in PDAC. This initiative is a joint effort by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Resource, Board of Investment, and the Canadian High Commission, Islamabad. I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the Canadian High Commission in Islamabad, particularly Mr. Robert Webb, Senator Asim Hussain from Ministry of Petroleum, and Mr. Salim Manviwala from Board of Investment. CPCOC is a non-profit organization that has been established to promote trade and commerce between the 2 countries. A very special thanks to the people behind the scenes who worked tirelessly in putting together this event. Hassan Ahmed, Daniel Gato, AJ Chopra from Capitol Hill Group, Vlad Glebov, and many more who contributed in making this event possible today. The 18-member delegation, led jointly by Minister of Petroleum and Natural Resource, Senator Asim Hussain, and Minister Salim Manviwala, Minister of State, is a strong representation from the federal and the provincial governments. This is a very significant initiative that will go a long way in Canada-Pakistan bilateral relations. Canada has been a strong ally of Pakistan in times of need. Canadian government and people have always been with Pakistan during the earthquake and the devastating floods. Canada is a leading player in mining, energy, and agriculture. Pakistan, with its rich natural resources, can benefit from Canadian technology and expertise in these sectors. The Chamber is committed to enhance trade in these sectors by arranging B2B meetings on an institutional level. CPCOC has made an effort to organize an open forum to encourage a frank discussion. It is platforms like these that provide an opportunity to bring together stakeholders and key decision makers. The delegation arrived in Toronto on March 2nd. Several meetings were held between March 2nd and March 6th. The ministers also met with Barrick Gold. Barrick Gold expressed their appreciation of the open dialogue with the ministers and hoped that the meeting would result to further strengthen the dialogue in the coming weeks. Ministers have found this trip very useful and have had high-level discussions with government officials, including former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien, who was very kind to host us. On an institutional level, successful meetings were conducted with World Bank. On the private sector, our friends from KPK and Balochistan found this trip to be an eye-opener. They had very successful interactions, and some of them were able to secure contracts in the areas of gemstone and other precious stones. CPCOC now has a presence in Toronto and Islamabad. Our offices are available to assist your company for any assistance you may require to understand the Pakistani market. Ladies and gentlemen, this delegation is just the beginning of a strong relationship. We hope that this is a continuation of many successful joint ventures in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen, for covering what's happened in the last few days so eloquently, and we appreciate your efforts and your help, and we look forward to CPCOC working with us, both the Government of Canada and the Government of Pakistan, as we move forward. I'd like to introduce now our High Commissioner for Pakistan from Ottawa, who's been so kind as to come down here and join us. I'd like His Excellency Akbar Zeb to come and say a few words. Thank you.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Honorable Ministers, Dr. Asim Hussain and Mr. Salim Manviwala, distinguished members of the Pakistan delegation, Ms. Mehreen Javed, President of the Canada-Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, ladies and gentlemen, I do feel privileged to address today's meeting, which has been organized by the Canada-Pakistan Chamber of Commerce to honor our ministers and the Pakistan delegation. I must say that the strength of our delegation is a measure of the importance we attach both to Canada as well as to this important conference. We are indeed greatly privileged to welcome our distinguished delegation to Toronto. In today's world, a country's international business dealings are a measure of its prosperity and economic well-being. Indeed, the economic health of a country is directly proportional to its ability to take advantage of the international trading and business environment. Countries that are economically ascendant have learned to assess the opportunities in international finance, trade, banking, and investment. One of the greatest challenges before Pakistan today is to modernize its economy in line with global trends and aspirations. There is no doubt that we were among the first in the region to open our economy for a global interface, and it is indeed imperative for us to take full advantage of the opportunities now provided by the international markets in Asia, Europe, and Americas. Ladies and gentlemen, today our relations with Canada are as strong as ever, characterized by close cooperation, strategic understanding, and common values. This is a relationship of long standing, which was established soon after our independence. Canada's traditional interest in Pakistan's development and progress is well known. Currently, Canada's assistance is oriented towards the education and health sectors and also towards gender, human rights, and governance issues. Bilateral trade has now crossed the $900 million mark. About 75% of our exports to Canada are textile-based. In recent years, we have made a case for a level playing field for our textile exports, which have been badly hit by the preferential treatment which Canada and other countries accord to the LDCs. Accordingly, we hope that the two countries can enter into negotiations on a preferential trading arrangement leading to a free trade agreement. Although the overall terms of Canadian investments in Pakistan are relatively small, a number of important Canadian companies have a presence in Pakistan, the most promising sector being oil and gas exploration. But the potential, I believe, is far greater. Canada is a member of the FODP process and has actively taken part in that forum. Our endeavor is that Canada should take up earnestly at least one of the FODP clusters, such as development of energy in Pakistan. Given Canadian expertise, this would be of enormous benefit to us. In the pursuit of the Canada-Pakistan agenda, we would like the opening of Pakistani banks in Canadian cities, greater PIA flights, and an agreement on the export of skilled manpower from Pakistan. Similarly, we would like our cooperation to cover collaboration between the corporate sectors of the two countries, infrastructure development, transfer of technology, and capacity building of our institutions. I must mention what gives special meaning to our relationship is the presence of over 300,000 Pakistani origin people in Canada. This is a community that has made important contributions to Canada's well-being and acts as an everlasting bridge of friendship between our two countries. The community has also keenly participated in schemes to benefit Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan's economy, which was hit badly by the rise in oil and food prices and the global recession, is now on a path of recovery. It must be said that in the last 2 years, a measure of macroeconomic stability has been achieved by reducing the fiscal deficit, by the consolidation of foreign exchange reserves, and the decline in the rate of inflation, all of which have helped to upgrade Pakistan's international credit rating. A major effort has also been undertaken to broaden the tax base and bring about structural improvements in the economy. Today, despite our difficulties, we offer an attractive business environment on account of our geostrategic location, our vast market, a trained workforce, sound investment policies, and attractive financial markets. We are proud of our liberal investment policy that has opened nearly all sectors for foreign investments. The government has planned large investments in infrastructure as well as the development of the energy and mining sectors, and we would like Canadian companies to take advantage of this environment. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I see I have a number of challenges ahead and not too long to finish those off in terms of all the things you would like to do with us. I think we've done a lot in my 2.5 years. We'll see what we can do in the next 6 months before I leave my posting. I'd like to now recognize the lady from Sindh, who is our representative for the advisor to the Chief Minister of Sindh. If you could stand up, Shamila Faruqi, could you recognize her? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And we now have a representative from KPK. Could you please stand up? I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. Sure. Okay, thank you. I would like to mention that we do have a few companies that did come with the mission, and I'd like to just mention one or two of those. Others came here anyway. They come on a regular basis. So we have MAM Enterprises from Karachi, Mr. Malik Ali. I'd like you to stand up, and he works with he works with someone from Amritsar, who I believe lives in Toronto, Mr. Kawalpang Singh Koi. Would you please stand up? From the Kobe Group. So I mentioned that, this is a truly diverse group. We have representatives from Tethi and Barak. Could Tim Livesey stand up, please? Thank you for coming, Tim. Very pleased to see you out of your busy schedule. You've made some time here. And Grant Thornton from Pakistan, have a representative here. If you could stand up, Mr. Shahid Ahmed Khan. Thank you for coming. I'd like to now ask one or two speakers to speak from the Canadian side, from the Ontario government. We have Shafqi Quadri, who is Parliamentary Secretary for Ministry of Government Services of Ontario. I'd like him to come up and just say a few words. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, chers amis, bienvenue et bonjour. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Robert, for your kind introduction. My name is Dr. Shafiq Qadri. I have the privilege and honor of being the Member of Provincial Parliament in the Government of Ontario. I'd like to, first of all, extend extreme felicitations to the organizers of such a wonderful event, to Marine Javed for her extraordinary leadership for the Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, to welcome, of course, His Excellency, Mr. Akbar Zeib, from the High Commission of Pakistan to Canada in Ottawa, and, of course, the many, many delegates who are representing the government of Pakistan, both federally and provincially, in various sectors. As was mentioned by His Excellency, the Canadian Ambassador, High Commissioner, I think there are a number of things to say about Canada and Pakistan relations. In that, to begin with, I would extend congratulations and a warm welcome on behalf of the Premier of the Province of Ontario, the Honourable Dalton McGuinty, and indeed all members of the Legislature. As you will remember, some of you, there was a trade mission to India, China, Pakistan, which took place in the previous mandate, and it was announced in August that those countries will be revisited once again in the not-too-distant future. So we look forward to helping to coordinate, to facilitate with all the various players who are not only in this room but beyond from a Pakistan-Canada business relation point of view. The High Commissioner of Pakistan to Canada also, I think, hinted at what I would call a secret weapon that Canadian companies have that perhaps many other jurisdictions in the world wish they had, and that is the expatriate Canadian Pakistani community. As he quite rightly mentioned, we are something on the order of about 300,000 and growing strong. We have hopefully distinguished ourselves in various levels of endeavor, whether it's in medicine or business or politics or the arts or the media. And I think that ability to exploit and to help you form your relationships and speak the various languages and navigate the various cultures can be an extraordinary resource to you as you help to foster trade linkages on a bilateral scale. Now, as a physician, as a doctor, of course, I'm familiar with mineral deposits on a much more finer micro scale. But having said that, I'm continuously surprised and amazed by the extraordinary fact-finding results, whether you read, by the way, declassified information from the Central Intelligence Agency or Stratfor or various mining journals, the extraordinary mineral and petroleum resources that are within that entire belt. And without, on behalf of the Government of Ontario, particularly citing any one particular company or one particular site, so don't interpret this as an endorsement. I know there's members of the press here, but the fact that in Reko Diq there is something on the order of $20 billion of gold, by the way, that's the appetizer, $2 trillion worth of copper. I mean, I don't even know what $2 trillion of copper looks like, but the point simply is that is just one single site, no doubt of many, many that are probably lying to date fallow and are ready for exploitation and development. And of course, the injection of economic prosperity, of democracy, of respect for the environment, for our fellow man, for international law, is something that is certainly needed and certainly welcome in that area of the globe. Now, with that, I would simply conclude, as I say, in my capacity, not only as a parliamentary capacity, but if I might actually add, in a personal capacity, don't always be overly swayed by the psychological or the psyops that you might encounter on the various news media. My flight to Pakistan is booked. That's in a personal capacity. We'll be spending an entire month during the summer. In August, no doubt I will be forced to shop excessively, eat very well, and avail myself of the extraordinary hospitality and warmth of the very, very generous people there. So I would encourage all of you, not merely for fact-finding or mining or oil opportunities, but to visit the country. We have representatives of Pakistan International Airlines. They're telling me we now have 4 direct flights per week, and likely that's about to go up. So I would certainly encourage both personal and professional tourism as the days go by. So with that, I would simply conclude to congratulate you, Mehreen Javed, for your extraordinary leadership today, to welcome the delegates from Pakistan, to encourage and re-enthuse those individuals who are on behalf of the Canadian companies that are looking to do business in the region. And with that, with your permission, avec votre permission, j'ai un petit cadeau pour nos ministres. I would like to invite Akbar Zaib and Ministers Mandvivala, Coker, and Asim Hussain to please accept a very small token of our appreciation on behalf of the Premier of the Province of Ontario and the government. Assalamu alaikum, bonjour, à la prochaine fois.
Thank you very much, Dr. Quadri. It's very nice to see you here, and I know you have a busy schedule, and taking time out of your day is certainly appreciated. I'd now like to introduce Masood Khan, who is from the office of Leader of the Opposition, Bob Ray. If you could come and say a few words, please. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum. My parents came to Canada in the early 60s, and at that time, there was only a handful of families here. And it was through these families and their strong work ethics that they somehow carved out a Pakistani-Canadian community. Now, if you look back over the past 40, 50, 60 years, you can really see how our community has flourished. We have preserved our custom, our heritage, and we've celebrated our culture here in Canada. In many ways, these first few Pakistani-Canadian families were the pioneers that built the relationship between Pakistan and Canada. And so I'm especially proud today to be here with the Canada-Pakistan Chamber of Commerce and the delegates from Pakistan in strengthening those bonds. And I have no doubt that through functions like this, we will have an open exchange of ideas, exchange of knowledge, more progressive immigration policies, and of course, increased trades of goods and services. I am here on behalf of Mr. Bob Ray, and I have a message that I'd like to read. Now, the message is, it is an honor for me to send greetings to everyone attending this event held by the Canada-Pakistan Chamber of Commerce. I would like to thank the organizers and volunteers who have worked so hard to make this visit and today's gathering such a success. I would especially like to welcome the many government and business officials who have come from Pakistan, including Mr. Salim H. Manviwala, Minister of State and Chairman of Pakistan Board of Investment, who will be your keynote speaker this week. Best wishes to all, the Honorable Bob Ray. मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि आपकी मेहनत से, आपकी हिम्मत से और आपकी दुआओं से कनाडा और पाकिस्तान की रिश्तेदारी मजबूत रहेगी और मजबूत होती जाएगी इंशाल्लाह। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Thank you very much, Ms. Khan. Before we get to the keynote speaker, which is today Minister of State, Chair, Board of Investment, I'd like to recognize one person, and I'd like him to just come to the microphone and say a few words, please. This is the Managing Director of PIA, Nadeem Kar Yousafzai. I believe he flew himself over here. I'm not sure, but perhaps you could just come and say a few words, sir. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thankful to Mr. Robert and Chamber of Commerce of Canada for inviting us and giving us this platform and opportunity to introduce our country in this part of the world. I am not new in this part of the world. I have over 35 years of flying experience, and I'm basically a pilot. I fly 777, and Robert is right. I flew myself in, and I'm going to fly myself out also. We got 3 flights, and it's very important to have a communication between the 2 countries or anywhere if you have to do some business. And I'm very thankful to the Canadian government, and I think they have gone out of the way to help PIA, and particularly in granting 1 more flight, and we're going to have very soon 4 flights. And I'm going to meet some official in Ottawa tomorrow, and we're going to request them we might have 1 flight a day, so more frequency and more cargo business. And we have got a special feelings for the Canadians because they're very open-hearted and open-minded. So Robert just pulled me out to have a speech to you, and I also see my personal friend and Mr. Manviwala. He's working very hard to get some investment in Pakistan. I wish him good luck. And so the Dr. Asam. I believe they are looked after, and with my airlines. Anything to do with the airline, we are there to help our community, our locals, and also the Canadians, Pakistani, otherwise also. And very soon you'll see PIA is going to have bilateral agreements with the other regional airlines also, like Air Canada, so that our passengers don't have any problem when they land here and they can go to further with Air Canada or to other destinations. We'll keep you updated. And thank you very much for inviting me to this forum. God bless Pakistan and Canada. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that PIA were able to make it today, and I certainly thank very much the country director here for the work he's been doing and his staff in terms of looking at easy ways for Pakistanis and Canadians to connect from any part of Canada to Pakistan and vice versa. And even, of course, flying from Pakistan via Toronto to anywhere in North America. So we're looking forward to increased traffic between the two countries. And, of course, cargo as we build our two-way trade. I'd like to now introduce our keynote speaker. He's Minister of State and Chair of Board of Investment, Government of Pakistan. And I can assure you, he has worked tirelessly for Canada. Any little problem I bring him relating to Canada, Pakistan, trade and investment, he has his staff look at for me and works very hard. Some of the problems I bring him are extremely complex and take time. Others get solved very quickly. But I'd like you to welcome Chair Board of Investment, Salim Mambiwala. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I want to start with Dr. Asim, our Federal Minister of Petroleum, our High Commissioner, Akbar Zaib, our ministers, our secretaries who are here, MD PIA who just spoke, who's a very dear friend of ours, Robert Webb, who has made this event happen and made it a reality. When we started talking about it, I was wondering if it will ever happen, Robert. But today it has happened. I am very happy. The delegates who joined us and the provinces which are here, I am really proud of them to come with us and to join us in this conference and this event. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's indeed an honor for me to present at this August gathering and having the opportunity to talk and interact with you all. PDAC is a very important event which we should have started to attend and exhibit long time ago, but apparently it was overlooked by us and everybody else in Pakistan. This 4-day conference really opened our eyes and made us realize that how much potential Pakistan has to present in this conference and in this event. I'll come to some relationships of Pakistan and Canada. You have heard a lot from Robert and from our High Commissioner and others. But our relationship goes back 60 years, and we have 300 or more Pakistanis living in Canada, doing business, doing jobs, and a very important community of the Canadians. Pakistan remains a very important ally of Canada and United States in the war of terror. We continue to fight this war jointly for the world, which many people don't realize what we do every day and how many sacrifices we do every day to fight this war. In 2011, Pakistan and Canada bilateral trade, as Robert mentioned, exceeded 800 million and onwards crossed $900 million. We would like to see this trade crossing $2 billion. That would be my dream. And for that, I think we have to work together jointly. On the energy sector, you will be surprised to know that Canada was the first country which developed and installed the first hydropower dam in Pakistan, which was called the Warsak Dam in 1960s. So Canada is not new to Pakistan, and Pakistan is not new to Canada. And in many other sectors, Canadian cooperation continues in oil and gas, and now, of course, we will excel in mining. Like Barrick Gold was mentioned, Barrick Gold has been in Pakistan for 6 years. And I feel after the success of Barrick Gold, other Canadian companies will follow and come to Pakistan. We have huge mineral deposits in copper and gold, in metallic minerals, in rare earth metals, and other gems and stones in Pakistan. Pakistan would like to see close relations in the fields of education, trade and economic, science, technology and telecommunication with Canada. Pakistan has keen interest, as I mentioned, in expanding trade, for which we will work together and increase as much as possible between the two countries. Among the ongoing projects, the discovery of coal deposits we have over 185 billion tons of reserves of Thar coal in the Thar district, which is something that a lot of countries are participating in, especially the Chinese, who have taken concessions in these coal development, and also looking at developing energy from coal. To meet the global challenges of competitiveness, the government of Pakistan has recently approved an incentive package of setting up special economic zones in the country, which will help foreign investors to come and invest in these zones, and will have very liberal rules of business in these zones. The foremost concern of the country is about the security and safety of its nationals. Unfortunately, the image of Pakistan in the foreign media is negative, and we face this problem every day of the negative perception in the media, which is partly true and partly not true. Many of the investors, like Barrick Gold and others, have never faced a security situation that I am aware of in Pakistan, and are doing business peacefully in Pakistan. Pakistan and Canada will need to make joint efforts to do more business together and jointly try more to bring companies to Pakistan and bring companies of Pakistan to Canada. The recently established Pakistan-Canada Chamber of Commerce is an initiative which will further promote trade and investment between the two countries, and I congratulate Mehreen Javed for taking this initiative and helping us to promote investment and trade between the two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely hope that my dialogue will help you to understand both the countries and the relationship both the countries enjoy. Thank you very much. Long live Pakistan-Canada friendship.
Now, while you enjoy your dessert, we are going to have a short presentation about Pakistan and minerals, and I'd like Dr. Asim Hussain to come up and just introduce his DG and say a few words from the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Resources about Canada and Pakistan. Ad lib, that's fine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robert Webb, Mr. Akbar Zeb, our High Commissioner in Canada, Mr. Salim Madiwala, Mr. Nadeem Yousafzai, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure being here in Canada amongst you in this cold weather. It's a wonderful experience. This is for the first time in the history of Pakistan that there has been such a large delegation in the mining sector into Canada. Pakistan has very large reservoirs, resources of different resources like semi-precious stones, precious stones, iron ores, and other metals. But they have unfortunately been untapped. And we have been so involved in the past in our own problems that we have never looked at it very seriously. This is for the first time that a democratic government has lasted 4 years in Pakistan. The government of Prime Minister Gilani and President Zardari has entered its election year. And this is a sign which heralds democracy and which heralds stability, which is good for any business, that all policies will now continue, and the next government, whoever so forms, will also continue in a democratic manner like any other Western country or advanced country or saner country in the world. Pakistan has been overstressed by this war on terror, and Canadians have also lost a lot of lives in fighting in Afghanistan, and so has Pakistan lost a lot of lives. And we continue fighting to bring peace, not to the region, but to bring peace to the entire world. We need Pakistan to be economically stable. We need Pakistan to be economically viable. We need to develop an economy whereby the fiscal space of all the inhabitants grows. And the general belief that there are terrorists in Pakistan is not correct. We need to export textiles, and we do not export terrorists. Canada has been a great friend. Canada has always helped Pakistan. Our oil and sector exploration started with the Canadian help, and I believe at some point in time in Pakistan history, there were about 16 experts, consultants from CEDA in Pakistan, and that is what helped to develop the oil and gas company, which is the largest state-owned company in Pakistan. It has always come in times of our need, in earthquakes and other natural catastrophes. It has stood by us politically, and it has always helped us morally, and it is now home to 3 lakh Pakistani inhabitants, which constitute a major source of foreign exchange back into the country. And I believe that this relationship should be strengthened, the business community should be strengthened, the business relations should be strengthened, and we should be seen as bilateral friends, and we should continue to foster our friendship. I welcome all businessmen from Canada to come to Pakistan, although it's far away, but then with the air linkages and direct flights, I think the world and Pakistan will be closer to each other and will not be a distance which cannot be covered. In the end, I think all this credit goes to Mr. Webb, who did this. Without Robert's support, this would not have been possible, and it has given a new dimension to the development of natural resources in Pakistan. And I'm sure when we go back, especially the ministry will organize itself in such a fashion that we not only have a stall here next year,
but we come back with a larger participation and with more vigor and energy and have something to show you all. Thank you very much. And in the end, my Director General Natural Resources will give a very brief overview of what Pakistan's potential is, and from there on, we'll take on the journey and we will meet again next year. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, we shall be having a brief overview of mineral sector of Pakistan in terms of what are our policies, what is our potential, and why one should invest in Pakistan. These would be the contents of this presentation, but we'll briefly look into the coming session of this presentation. First would be the economic indicators, and then the constitutional apportionment, national mineral as we see in this slide. Well, the Federation is responsible for geological survey and discovery of the minerals, formulation of national policies, and dealing with the national and international affairs. On the other end, the federating units are responsible because they are the owner under the constitution of mineral wealth in the country, and they are responsible for exploration, development, regulation of the mineral sector, safety of exploration and mining operations. In this slide, we'll briefly look, we have a very well-defined national mineral policy, which placed Pakistan at, in the region in a very competitive form. We have a well-defined fiscal and regulatory regimes, and this policy, provide a lot of comfort to the investor prior making a plan to visit Pakistan for investment. So there are very well-defined, fiscal and regulatory regimes under which one can come and invest and explore. Our policy is committed to deregulation, liberalization, and privatization, foreign investment protected under the law, investment-friendly mineral concession rules, and internationally competitive fiscal and regulatory regimes ensure environmental protections. As a result of implementation of this policy, Pakistan has secured a lot of foreign investment, mainly in the mineral sector. And here is the example of few projects. We have investment mostly in metallic mineral sector. That is one example is Sandek. Second is the lead zinc deposit, Reko and third coal deposit. This policy is now being reviewed to accommodate the challenges and requirement of large-scale mining, which is newly emerging in Pakistan, and this policy is being reviewed. Here is a slide which tells us how we grant concession in Pakistan. If someone has an interest, he can ask question on this. And here in this slide, we have defined the mother law and the subsequent law from where the power and regulations have been derived. And the main law in this country was early framed in 1948. So there are different modes of grant, and we have different titles in our for which we grant concession for minerals in Pakistan, which are internationally known, like reconnaissance license, exploration license, mining, mineral retention license, and finally we grant mining lease. So we have a very well defined and very explicitly defined concession rule in Pakistan, which can be compared and with the region and the rest of the world. Here, this slide will show that what incentive we offer as a government to the investor in Pakistan. We have a very well-defined royalty schedules in Pakistan for different category of minerals, as you see in this slide. And and the state also offer, number of concession in the exploration and development phase. For the in the exploration phase, the company, or for example, an investor hasn't, have full exemption of duty and taxes. However, in the development phase, he has to pay 5% duty, which is also deferable for 5 years. So in this slide, though it's long and it's maybe looking very messy as well, but it was purposely made to tell that where we stand in terms of physical term. This will show the international competitiveness of Pakistan, and Pakistan fiscal regime is very progressive, as you see with the comparison of the developed and underdeveloped and the developing country of Pakistan. Here is a comparison of tax with the rest of the world. Well, this slide will tell you that Pakistan, and the last column of this slide will, you will find Pakistan is quite competitive with the rest of the world. Our taxes, our duties, and our like other levies are quite, comparable and competitive with the rest of the world. Some who are interested in a geological setup in Pakistan. Pakistan has a very interesting geology, and mainly we have 3 principal belts. These are Eastern Seismic, Western Mobile, and Northern Consolidated Belt. Here is a map which shows the stratigraphic basins of Pakistan. We have principally 4 large basins of Pakistan, in which we can divide into geological terms. Pakistan has done it would be a very interesting slide for the investors. We have a whole range of different surveying which we carried out in Pakistan, and we have mapped them in different 6 categories. It's geological mapping, regional geological mapping, geophysics, economic geology, energy resource, and environmental geology. So scale is also given here. If someone is interested, they can contact us, and we'll provide all the details if someone need it. Here is a 10 minerals data, which are the main mineral which are being excavated in Pakistan, and this is a 3-year figure. The largest we produce limestone, and then comes our rock salt are the main mineral we produce in the industrial area. We also produce copper in form of blister, and that is about 17,000 ton annually. Here's a slide which can tell you the total value in terms of Pakistan mineral products. Value of mineral products of Pakistan is 405. That was in 10 and 11 fiscal year, and country export 170 million ton. Country imports 250. So further on, we shall be having going to look. As per international, we did many surveys with the help of, collaboration with the other part of the world. And CEDA was also, by the way, one of them. In 60s, they helped us in, defining these metallogenic zones of Pakistan. We have 11 famous metallogenic zones of in Pakistan, and their location is marked on the map. Next. Pakistan is, geologically is also part of the international, world, and we are stationed, as you see in this map, on the very famous international Tathian Copper Belt, which starts from Hungary and ends in Tibet in China. So in this map, you can see Pakistan is also very, prominently located in this area, and we have a very large area in metallic mineral which is waiting for exploration and investments. So there are two famous projects in Pakistan. You can see one is SADC, which is being operated by government of Pakistan, from where we are exploiting gold, copper, and silver. And here is a Reko Diq, which is, nowadays very, famous topic in the mineral sector. Here is the location of Reko Diq deposit. It's located in the extreme western and southern part of the country, and it's also, located in the border triangle between Iran and Afghanistan. Here's a little history of Reko Diq deposit for the audience who may be very interested to know what is Reko Diq about. A joint venture agreement which was signed initially between BHP and government of Balochistan, having shareholding of 75% and 25%. Then BHP introduced another partner in 2000 in Australia, and they formed a company which is called Tathian Copper Company, Pakistan. In 2006, BHP and Mincor sold their interest to other two companies, which is one from Canada, is known as Barry Gold Canada, and other is a famous company in copper world, that is Antofagasta, Chile. In 2007, they formally requested government of Pakistan to sign a mineral agreement, and however, there were series of negotiation, and government of Pakistan, constituted a steering committee having representation from government Balochistan province and government of Pakistan. It could not be concluded because of various reasons. And in 2010, TTC completed scoping study, feasibility study, ESIA studies, and they are claiming an investment of 435 million ton, out of which 214 million on exploration activities. Unfortunately, the project is facing litigation at national and international fora. This is the slide which shows the total potential which has been, projected by the TTCP in their feasibility report. The estimated potential of this project is 587 billion ton. Total estimated reserves is 202.2 billion. Life of mine capex, it means capital expenditures, estimated 600 billion US dollar. Quantity of copper 11.65 million tons, and quantity of gold which is to be extracted over a period of 56 years would be 21.18 million. Here, this slide shows the potential of iron ore. We have about 7 known discoveries of iron ore deposits in Pakistan. Location is marked here, and the total potential of iron ore, various category of iron, is over 1,000 million ton. This slide will show the metallic mineral potential of Pakistan in different bauxite, chromite, copper. And mainly you can see we have the main potential for copper, and then we have, followed by other minerals, that is copper and lead zinc. Here is a slide which shows us the type of the investment we have received from, for different projects. I will briefly mention about the coal sector. We have a huge potential in coal, and at one location we have the 5th largest coal deposit in the world, that is situated in Thar, in the extreme western part of the country, bordering with India. As you can see, orange at number 6 on the extreme map of the country. So we'll look at the highlights. This field covers an area of 9,000 square kilometer. Distance from our main port Karachi is 380 kilometer. Coal resource 175 billion ton. Coal seam depth is 114 to 203. coal category, lignite, calorific value 5700 to 6300, and world ranking is 5th. Tar coal has facing different challenges. It was initially discovered in 1993, and since then we have carried out a number of studies for its mining and for its utilization of coal. And it has been, the main challenge is its complex geology, which is dominated by dune sand and siltstone, and three aquifer, multiple aquifer, overlying the seam. This is a view of the, this picture is from Thar coal field. That is how it's looked like. The Thar coal development plan of government Sindh, they have so far developed 10 blocks in this area with the help of the government of Pakistan, and 6 out of them have been allocated to different national and international companies for mining, power generation, and for other utilization like underground gasification. And remaining, area is still waiting for, investment from the different companies and different part of the world. For the ladies who are here in this convention, they must be very happy to know that Pakistan has 12 different categories of gemstone, and we have a world-class quality of emerald and ruby. Here you can see Pakistan, by its geography, you can see Pakistan and its topography. Pakistan is known as a country of high mountains, and you can see at what level we are doing exploration for the gemstone. We have a huge potential for the gemstone as well. Mainly, we have 70 million carat of ruby and gemstone. Other gemstone to about 200 million carat, and we have a huge potential for emerald. Here are few snaps. You can see the quality of gemstone we have in Pakistan. This is from Kohistan area. We have a rare quality of topaz. This is called pink topaz, which is rare in color in the world. Here are few slides you can see. Lastly, we'll look at the dimension stone sector in Pakistan. We have a huge quantum of industrial mineral in form of rock salt, limestone, gypsum, fire clay, and so on. Dimension stone, we have a very great potential for granite and marble and sandstone. Here are a few slides which can show different shades and quality, what we have there. This is a slide from Sindh, where we have 7 different shades for granite. This is a resource potential for industrial mineral and dimension stone we have. As you can see from this slide, that we have a huge potential for rock salt, we have a huge potential for marble, we have a great potential for other mineral like gypsum, like silica sand, and barite, fire clay, fluorite. This slide will, is a summary of the things what we can offer to the investor from all over the world, and particularly to the investment from Canada. Here you can see we have huge coal resource, as I mentioned in the previous part of the my presentation. Then we have a high-grade resource of marble, granite. We have great deposits of rock salt. Perhaps we are number 1 in rock salt deposits in the world. That's stationed in salt range. We have substantial potential for precious and semi-precious stones, large metallic mineral deposits, as we have discussed, in form of copper, chromite, lead, zinc, in Balochistan, iron ore in Punjab. So why one should come to Pakistan, and why, invest in Pakistan? Because we have a huge, geological potential in form of coal, metallic minerals, gemstone. We are an investment-friendly country. We have a very competitive fiscal and regulatory regime in the whole region if we compare with our neighboring countries. And we have low taxes and cost. We have a very good infrastructure. So all these potential areas are, facilitated through, good infrastructure, excellent strategic position and market, since we are a neighbor of emerging two world industrial nation, that is China and Pakistan. Well, in the end, thank you for your patience. And should you have any questions, please, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coker. That was a very interesting presentation. We may have some questions. We will have a short period for a panel for people to ask questions. I think we have a roving mic somewhere that the audience can ask questions. I'd like to bring Chair, Board of Investment, Salim Mambiwala, to the microphone. He has an announcement to make.
I forgot to mention, after talking to the MDPIA, we have concluded that there will be a facility of visa on arrival for the Canadians to come to Pakistan. So you can contact Board of Investment or PIA to just hop on the plane, and we'll take care of you when you land. Thank you.
Well, that's good news indeed. Thank you. I know you have upgraded your computer systems, and we look forward to having a modern Board of Investment with modern computer systems, maybe even one from Canada. Should we invite the panelists up now? If we could get Dr. Asim and... so I'd like to thank all the speakers today for their very, very erudite presentations and the information they have provided to us. And this is your chance to ask questions of the audience, from the audience to our panel. I will say right up front that there's very little we can say about Rikodik. It's sub judice. I've answered questions to the media. We, as Government of Canada and Government of Pakistan, are working hard together to try and resolve the situation. And we, as Government of Canada, have consistently said to Pakistan, we just want the company treated fairly under the laws of Pakistan. And pretty much all I'm going to say about it today. So you have questions, unlikely to be answered, but happy to have questions in just about every other area. So, Maureen, do we have the mic out there, or?
No.
No. All right, so anyone that wishes to ask a question, could you come forward, and we will try and... PIA MD, you wanted to ask a question?
I don't have a question, I just want to...
Please go ahead.
Yes,
I'll repeat the question, and that is, the basis of the question is traveling to Pakistan, working in Pakistan in terms of business meetings, etc. What answers does Pakistan have in terms of security? And I'll mention that I've been in Pakistan for 2.5 years. I live in Islamabad. I travel to Lahore by road. I travel to Karachi by air and travel around Karachi. I travel to Quetta. I haven't yet been to Rikodik. Sandstorms had stopped me. I personally have not had any issues from a security point of view. However, as you know, the Government of Canada has on its website significant security issues. What I've seen over 2.5 years is organized security to an extent where there are police road checks. You need to have your paperwork. As far as people who want to do bad things to us, from what I've seen in Islamabad, they get stopped at the peripheral areas, and if they don't, very few actually get through there. Then they somehow, the Pakistan security authorities do manage to stop problems occurring. It's been a while since we've had problems. We had, obviously, back in 2008, the Marriott bombing, and then I think the World Food Program had a terrorist go over the wall and with a backpack. And there have been a few things, and of course, Pakistan has suffered related to the certainly the military installations and police installations. And definitely, there are places you would not go, and we would absolutely not want you to go. Certainly, the border areas of Afghanistan can be a problem. But there's some very nice tourist areas in Pakistan as well. If you go up, as I haven't been yet, due to weather conditions, Gilgit-Baltistan and up into the northeast. If you've seen some of the old videos of the tourist treks up there, it's very nice to visit. And I know the Asia Foundation in Islamabad takes a number of my colleagues to these areas. So from living there in 2.5 years, I have not seen significant problems. However, there are definitely kidnapping problems. We have seen certainly a number of different countries have their nationals kidnapped. And you have to be cautious. And you have to watch what's going on. And we recommend, if you are there, to use hotel cars rather than the common taxi, and stay in hotels with good security. That's my view from a Canadian living there for 2.5 years. Would the panel like to, Dr. Asim?
I mean, I'd like to start from your last comment, that the kidnappings of the foreign nationals have not taken place on the roads. They have not taken place from the houses. They have not taken place, somebody just comes to the shopping mall and picks you up. All the kidnappings of the foreign nationals have taken place where the people have ventured into those areas where we will also not go. They will go into remote areas, they will go into places where is no communication. Even people living in the country do not venture to those places. So there are certain places where one shouldn't go. We are aware of it because there is a fight going on in certain areas. We all recognize the fact that we are in a war on terror situation. So that's it, number one. Number two, as Robert Webb very rightly said, that he's been there for 2.5 years, and I'm sure he'd like to live in Pakistan longer also. And he plans to, I believe. And so that means the security, I mean, is good, and one-off movements do happen. I mean, they happen everywhere in the world. Maybe in England, if there are 2 in a year, maybe we have 10 in a year. But when peace and tranquility come to the region, we will be the most peaceful people in the region. And whenever there, for a businessman, as I am a businessman myself, you always move in when there is some problem in those areas where the business costs are lower. So I think that we should all go there, and it's not a problem of that magnitude. And what you see in the press is overrated. There was a woman, an MPA, who won an election, and she just slapped once some polling officer about a month back. And the media had showed that she, they went on repeating it again and again and again. To me, it looked as if she had slapped her 20 times, although it was only one time. So she was debarred from holding elections. The ruling government, she was a member of the ruling, elected of the ruling party, and they cancelled her election, and she's debarred from contesting for the next 2 years, and they're going to fresh election take. These are all signs of improving a country's thinking and a country's philosophy, and I think this is the time to move in and do your business, and there's really nothing to worry. Thank you.
I mean, I'll add to that Pakistan has a reasonable financial system. It has good banks. When 2008 recession occurred, Canadian banks and Pakistan banks did very well, and we look to see more business between Pakistan and Canada. Therefore, more links between the banks. Yes, sir.
I represent Engro Foods. We recently invested in Canada about 10 months ago. We invested several millions of dollars in Ontario specifically. Our journey has been very encouraging with the support of the Canadian government, and Robert, yourself, as I understand, have been instrumental in helping us, so thank you very much. We started off in May of 2011 with a staff of 5 people. We are now 13 people and growing strong. We are looking to expand further this year and next year. So we've had a very encouraging and positive start in Canada, and I would encourage everybody to continue this process because we see a lot of potential in Canada, and I think all of us are here to actually explore this potential. So that's the only comment I wanted to make.
Thank you very much, and I have to say the Dawn Group have been very good to us. We appear in their education exhibitions every year now for the last 2 years, and we have more Pakistan students coming to Canada. We give a lot of work through our promotion of having Pakistan students coming to Canada to our immigration section. And the results are there. And if you look at the numbers which we've received from Statistics Canada recently, we absolutely do have a good potential in terms of increases every year, and it's continuing. And also, Dawn had a very recent agriculture show, the first one, I think, and down Karachi and up in Lahore. And we participated certainly in the Lahore agricultural exhibition, and we had a booth there, and I can tell you, unfortunately, my agriculture officer couldn't make it, so I was there, and it was very, very busy. There's a lot of interest in doing business with Canada.
Robert, we'll end it. Yes.
Okay.
Dawn Group from Pakistan, and we have been here supported by the government a lot in many projects which we have done on education, on immigration, and a lot of other things. We have done on agriculture also, and the government here has been very supportive, and so have been the private sector here. And now with the mining all coming up, whatever support as Dawn Media Group we can give you here, we are all there to support you. Wish you all best of luck.
That happens in Pakistan because the more violence you show, the more rating you get. But I would also request Robert Webb that the Canadian travel advisory upper limit should be scaled down.
We're very cautious people, I guess. Well, some of our guests have to get to the airport. It's been a very good couple of hours here. I think everyone's learned a lot. I encourage you to, watch the websites of the Pakistan and Canadian governments for announcements, and certainly through the Chambers of Commerce, Canada-Pakistan Chambers of Commerce. Their new website is up now. So certainly we will try and make sure as much information as possible about this event and other Canada-Pakistan opportunities appear on the website. Thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate it, and we look forward to next year. Oh, sorry. PDAC want to say thank you for everybody coming.
Just a very quick word. As I said at the beginning of this delegation's tour here in Canada, PDAC has been extremely pleased to host you all. I believe our numbers this year have exceeded 30 or 31,000. Next year we're going to provide you with booths as promised. Wonderful booths for both Pakistan and all the provinces. Many, many thanks, honored guests, for being here. And again, many thanks from PDAC. We will be here for you next year. Thank you.
Thank you.